Hello dear friends, have you ever experienced that you are reading a lot but you are not doing well in the examination? Do you feel you are not able to remember or you are lacking in concentrations and focus while studying? If this is the case, then these tips will certainly work to your advantage and you can take advantage of these tips, these suggestions that I am going to discuss in detail right now. Here are the 15 tips. 15 tips and you need to follow them one by one with focused attention and use it in your own life. Follow them to the letter and you will get the result. You will do well in the examinations. You will get through examinations with flying colors. There is no doubt about that. And I am certain about that. I can guarantee you success in the examination. 15 tips. The number 1 point, set your goals. Sometimes it happens that as a student, we don't set our goals. In every walks of life, setting goal is important, and even in reading, there is no exception. You must set your goals. You should know how much you have to study. You should know what is the deadline, what books, what text you need to focus on. You have to be clear-cut about that. And when you set your bigger goals, you need to have many goals that you have to work on an everyday basis. When you set your goals, you know the directions you are moving. With the right directions, you will go to the right place. You can reach the right destinations. Because goals are very important. They are like planning. Failing to plan leads to planning to fail. And you must have clear-cut plan. So, after setting the goals, you should start taking action, because without action there is no use of any goals, and you must have the ability to take action. To take actions, implement your vision's goals into reality, and you must take action. It is essential in every field, in every area of knowledge, and even in reading. Even as a student, you cannot undermine that. So the first point, that you must set your goals. You must set your goals, and when you read, your goals should be in your mind. Number 2, study in chunks. Study in chunks means you need to study in portions in terms of time and the reading materials. It's not that you have to read the entire text or the chapter in a particular day, and you have to read time and again with continuous effort. Yes, there is no doubt about that you have to read time and again. But that should be in chunks. You need not have to study for hours, for long hours. As we believe, as our parents ask us to do, that yes, if you want to move ahead, get the good result, you must read for hours at a stretch. That you should sit in one place and read for 2 to 3 hours continuously. This is not going to work. You should study in chunks. Study in chunks means study 25 minutes at a time, then take 5 minutes as a break. After 25 minutes, again you can start the same process. So you can have 25 minutes, 5 minutes break, 25 minutes, 5 minutes break. In this way you can have 4 to 5 sessions, and you can study in this way. Because when you have this sort of activity, this sort of process in reading, study in chunks, you have more beginning and more ending, and it has been proven that with the more beginning and ending, you can remember much more information. You won't feel tired. You will be energetic and enthusiastic, and your span of attentions will be more and more. You can have better focus and better concentrations, and with better focus and better concentrations, you can have better results. You can gain much more information, facts and figures that you can use for the purpose of examination. Number third, you need to survey the text and have the questions. When you start a particular chapter or a book, you should survey the entire text or the entire chapter, and you can have the brief idea about what the chapter is, what the text is. And when you have brief about, you can have some questions. Look at the questions in the end, or find out the questions related to the topic. Have some questions that may come up in your brain. Write them. Then start reading. Number 4, read, review and recite. You can read after surveying and having all the questions at your command. You start reading. Read with concentrations in the process that I have already mentioned, that 25 minutes and 5 minutes break and the different session. 4 to 5 sessions or more than that, 6 sessions also you can have that. So you have to read in that way, and you can make a review of what you read within that 25 minutes. So that 5 minutes can be used for the purpose of review. Means what you have read in the 25 minutes you can think of. That's a kind of review. So that will strengthen your memory. The power of memory power. Your short-term memory can be transformed into long-term memory. Also, you can make a review of what you studied in the day before you sleep, or in the morning of the next day when your brain is completely fresh, you are energetic, enthusiastic, you are full of energy for the next day to start. You can make a review of what you have already studied, and it will help you remembering the important points, and you can use that for the purpose of examinations. And also you can recite that you can do after 1 or 2 days. Number 5, make notes. You must know how to make notes, because just reading won't work. At the same time, just reading you cannot have good concentrations. If you want to improve your focus and concentrations, you must write, because writing gives you better focus and better concentrations. Whether you are going to listen to lecture or reading any books, chapter, any materials that are important for your career, that you must make notes. Note making is very important for your career. You cannot undermine that. So, if you want to remember more information, you should know which information is important, which is more important for your career, which you can use for your own advantage while writing the examinations. You should know that, and on the basis of that, you should make notes. You should have different sort of notes. You can make notes in the graphical form, in the tabular form, or also you can make notes in the way that can be easily visible and eye-catching, and that can be used for your own purpose in the best possible way. Also, you can make notes in the margins of the book. You can make notes with the use of highlighter, underlining the important points, using pencil, pen, and any other purposes. So, when you make notes, you can make an overview of those things easily. Also, the notes can be very useful before the examinations. You can have an overlook of that. So you should know how to make notes, and you should do that also. You should take it as the important part of your reading process, because this is what we call smart reading. When you read, after doing all these things, this is not the job that you will have to do on your own, because yes, very good, read them. After reading, you should share that knowledge. It's your job to share that knowledge. When you share that knowledge, it is not that the others will take advantage of you and you will lose some of the informations to others. It's not like that. Because when you share the information facts and figures that you have will remain etched in your memory for a longer period of time. You read and teach. You need to read and teach. Number 6 point is read and teach. Share the knowledge. So when you read and teach, you can understand better and everything will remain etched in your memory, and you can produce more in the examinations, the important points in the examinations. You can filter out the redundant informations. You can understand the heart, the necessary elements that are to be produced in the examination. Next point is that you should pay much attention to cooperative and collaborative learning. Cooperative and collaborative learning is not just about yourself. You should read it with cooperations, with the collections of students, with the community, and when you read it with the students' mass across group, you can form groups in the online platform like Zoom, or you can form groups and you can share knowledge with different students. You can get knowledge from them. You can share what you know, and you can also get the information and the points what others know. And in this way, you can expand the horizon of your knowledge, and it will be to your advantage when writing the examination. Number 8. You are in the 21st century. You are in the age of internet. You are considered to be the digital native, and when you are the digital native, you should use the online platform to the maximum. You should use audiobooks. You should use TED Talks, YouTubes, many online platforms. And you can gain knowledge everywhere on your own comfort, at your own pace. And you can have an edge over others, and you can do better in the examinations as a result. The next point is that you can read at your own comfort, place and time. Place and time won't be the restricting factor. They are rather contributing factor for you. Unlike in the past, when the parents are emphasizing the place of reading, the timing of reading, this is not the case. You can read at any place, at any time. You can read in the evening, you can read at night, you can read in the garden, you can read while you move. There is no any other place. You can read audio, you can listen to audio books, you can read soft copies, you can listen to different online platform, online education. You can get knowledge by different sort of learning platform. There are so many learning platforms emerging. So with this process, you can expand the horizons of your knowledge, and you can have better result. You can be at an advantage. You can have competitive edge over other students. But the best moment, the best time I will say is the morning hour, because if you read in the morning, at least at the wee hour in the morning at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, it will certainly yield better result, because the brain is fresh, you are enthusiastic, you are active, and it is well said that 1 or 2 hours in the morning is almost equivalent to 5 or 6 hours in the daytime. These are the reading techniques. Now you should have some techniques as to how to improve your mentality, your physical strength that will suit the purpose of reading. You must have mindfulness. Mindfulness is the great technique, the technique that can be achieved through meditations. Mindfulness technique. It will improve your focus and concentrations. It will strengthen your span of attentions. With the span of attention strengthened, you can read more and you can gain more. You can have better positions to have the grasp of a large chunk of information that you can use. So you must practice mindfulness. You can have the mindfulness through informal sort of mindfulness, that whatever you do, just focus on that. Brushing your teeth, focus on that. Driving the car, focus on that. Reading, focus on that. This is informal sort of meditations, and you can use that for the purpose of gaining knowledge. Number 11, you must stay away from distractions. You are in the age of internet. You are at an advantage. It's true. But at the same time, you are affected by distractions. A lot of distractions are there in the form of internet. You will find abundance of informations every day, every second, every minute. And you have to filter out which informations are important for you, which is the informations of number 1 priority and which is of the least priority. You should understand that, because unless you know that, you will be overwhelmed with the abundance of informations, and you cannot have all the informations in your brain, and you know you have the limited capacity. Within that limited capacity, you have to get the better result, the best result. So with the limited resources, you have to do well. So you should know which informations are there, and you should try to stay away from the social networking site like Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp and all those things. Rather, you should switch off the phone while you read, just to stay away from the distraction, and you can have better result. Number 12, you should be a good time manager. Time management is very important in every walks of life. Whatever the work, maybe business, personal, or whatever it may be, you must be a good time manager. Unless you know how to manage the time and resources available, you cannot be successful. So you should have the things of number 1 priority, and you should have the things of number last priority, or things of the least priority. And when you know them, you should pay attention to those informations that is important, urgent, and effective for your career. And you should try to undermine or minimize the information that is not important and that is of least priority. You should exercise regularly. This is also number 13. Do exercise regularly, because unless you exercise regularly, you cannot have better brain, you cannot have physical stamina, physical strength to cover a lot of information, and you cannot be in the competitions. So if you want to be in the competitions and excel in the competitions, you should be physically fit, mentally strong, and mental strength, devotions, dedications, physical prowess can be achieved by doing exercise. So you must do exercise every day. And also, even if you are overwhelmed with works, to-do list, you have to play, because when you play, you can manage the time, you can feel relaxed, you can have a stress-free life, and with the relaxations and stress-free life, you can read more, you can have better result. Number 15, you cannot undermine that. This seems to be of the least priority, but not the least priority. This is very important that most of us sometimes don't pay attention to, and that is we must know what foods, what sort of diet, what sort of different sort of material balanced diet we can have. When you have to drink, how much water you have to drink, how much food you have to take, and what sort of foods we have to eat. We need to understand that, and we can use that also, and with that our mental strength, physical prowess, everything will be alright, fantastic, fine. And all these things can be a contributing factor for our success as a student. So just pay attention to all these factors and try to implement in your own life, and you will see that there will be tremendous result. Thank you so much, my dear students, my dear friends.